Hi, very warm welcome to you guys. Guys, we will be bringing you the latest magnetic pole position over the next few days. But, in solidarity to the Gazans, let's stick with the story at the moment. They're being told, can you believe this, to evacuate and go to the south. And we know what's waiting for them at the south border, don't we? That's where Israel's lining up all their tanks. And this isn't washing with the world's public. This isn't going down. As much as the British media, the American media, and whatever country you're living in right now, try to sway your thoughts on this matter, it isn't working too well for them. And it shouldn't either. I mean, moving 1 million people. For what? Gazans aren't the ones that have caused the terror atrocities over the last 11 days. It weren't them. Why have they got to move out their house and leave their territory? Why has Israel, enforced this measure on them? What have they done? They know they're not responsible for those terrorist attacks. That was Hamas. So why has 1 million people then got to move? What's happening in Gaza right now is an atrocity. And, it is a humanitarian crisis that is about to unfold over the next few days. And we can sit here on the edge of our chairs watching this happen in the safety of our homes, whilst people are being told to get out, move to the south of the country, with what means? Where is the humanitarian support here for the logistics of this to happen to start with? Just exactly where they're going to go. Why was we, in full support when Ukraine was attacked by Russia? When we saw on the borders of Ukraine over a year ago those Russian forces building up on that border, why was we in such support for Ukraine when we are not for this? And what is the difference? Is Russia not as guilty as Israel right now? What, we're supposed to feel sorry for Israel and support them in this genocide which is taking place? Well, I'm sorry, I can't have sympathy for you, because what you're doing is on a scale much more than what has happened recently in the last few days, as ugly as that was, and nobody will support that behaviour of what those terrorists did in Israel. But this is a revengeful attack. It is shameful, and you are picking on people that have nothing, and yet you want them to give up the very last that they have, which is almost middle to nothing. How sad is this, guys? What we are watching right now. We have seen Western countries support this. What? Are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? The fake news. This is the real fake news. How can you justify this on one hand and then what happened in Ukraine on another? You can't. It's simple. You can't do it. This is a humanitarian crisis unfolding right now. And people are being told to evacuate to the south of Gaza, over 1 million people. Leave their homes, leave their livelihoods, what little they have, with their families, and go to the south, where all those Israeli tanks are. There are problems with the border of Egypt. We are probably going to see the Middle East melt down over the next few days. And you know what? We might not be sitting here on the edge of our chairs, because this conflict could open up to an even wider scale global war. There is a lot of mechanisms right now in play. We've got China that want to snatch the land back off of Taiwan. We've got Russia attacking Ukraine, turning that into pretty much what we've seen over the last few days in Gaza, as 6,000 bombs have rained down on what can only be described as innocent civilians. because I don't see any military assets that they've hit. All I see is that they have knocked down, civilian buildings, blew up hospitals, and right now, in the next 24 hours, guys, this is heartbreaking. In the next 24 hours, hospitals throughout the Gaza Strip are going to run out of fuel to run the generators. And then what? There is no help for even the wounded innocent. Even if there is a will to operate, there isn't the facilities to do so. Why is the world standing by, allowing this to happen? I really don't know. And you can really understand why, the Arab nations around Israel right now are warming up to the fact that they're not going to stand by and watch this happen. And we know that something more is happening than what we are seeing in the general media, because this has lit the fuse to explosive consequences that are going to happen in the Middle East and spread from the Middle East out towards the Western countries where me and you are sitting right now. I'll tell you that. This is no joke what is going on right now. We have two battle groups, and we have also the British and European countries that are standing by Israel whilst they do this. And we have already seen over the last year the world divided. You know that the world is divided right now. Nobody wants the dollar, the global currency. We've seen the BRICS nation come about, and that has been the true separation of two sides to this world. And now this could be the very thing that ignites the most horrific war we have ever seen. And I guarantee you this now, guys, I'm not kidding when I say this. This next war is not something you will want to see or witness, because what we will unleash on each other will be no comparison to what we unleashed on each other 90 years ago during the Second World War. And we're back here right now, again, facing the same, and learnt nothing from the past. How can the world stand by and watch a nation of people be evacuated in just 24 hours when there is no logistics put in place for that to happen? People won't make it 25 miles to the south of the border before they run out of food, they run out of water, and they die. What we are all sitting by watching right now is something, and I know you guys feel it as well, it's a wrong. Even though I do not like the United Nations, but even they have spoken up about this and said it is an impossibility what is being expected of the Gazans right now. It can't be achieved. And it is going to result in thousands and thousands of people dying. And we're all just sitting by watching this happen. You know what? I've never seen so much fake news in all my time as what we're seeing right now on any media network. Just look at it. Have you ever seen, when you've gone onto YouTube, blanket coverage of such a thing and portraying one-sided views? Well, we know there's something more going on than what we're being shown. And we know that you cannot have two different circumstances for the same situation. If you're going to allow Ukraine to be supported in the defence of its territory, and then you're not going to do the same for people that live in Gaza, then you know what? You're going to lose the support of your people if you cannot stand up and do the right thing. This needs to be halted right now, because nobody supports this in the world. We are seeing protests all around the world right now up in arms about what is happening, because we are saying no way are we going to put up with this, and we shouldn't either, because it could be me and you sitting in Gaza tonight, only, you know, it'll be called something different. It could be Coventry, Birmingham, it could be Manchester, London, you know, it could be New York, it could be Toronto, it could be Australia, it could be anywhere where, you know, we are listening to this right now. In the coming months, something needs to change about this, because this, I know that you agree with me, this is wrong, and it should stop. And what we're seeing on the mainstream media now is them ram it down our throats, expecting us to put up and accept this as, you know, a behaviour that should be supported. And we all know that that shouldn't be the case. You imagine being in Gaza right now. What do? The border is sporadically opened in Egypt, and then closed, and then opened again. There is a refugee crisis building up on that border right now, and there is, you know, 1 million people expected to arrive in the coming days. Makes me feel sick, is all I can say. You know, my heart goes out to them. It really does, and I hope that God is watching, and, you know, his angels are over these people in the coming days. It's not that I'm taking sides, guys. It's that I do not like to see, you know, innocent people hurt, regardless of where they come from, what background they have, and what religion and ethnicity they have. I do not like watching and witnessing what we are seeing right now take place. And, you know, if this spills out and gets out of control, and I think it's going to, I really do, guys, I think that we are going to ignite by, you know, standing by as a country. I don't know why my country is standing by Israel, why they do this, but if we stand by them, we are going to ignite those Arab nations. Instead of, you know, peace brokerage, we're sending the total wrong messages out here in support for Israel and its actions. Yes, we're upset about what happened 11 days ago. I don't think anyone would disagree with me on that point. It was a tragedy what happened, but it was a terrorist organisation that committed that, not the whole of Gaza. Yet the whole of Gaza are picking up the bill for this, and that ain't right. It's a very, very sad day, guys. I will be back in the coming days, hopefully, with the latest magnetic pole position. I will say this, guys, we need to do more than what we're doing right now. If you want to keep your observatory, then, you know, we need to do more than what we're doing right now. We need just more than a few people to support and help, and there is a link down there. I have did my best for the last 2 months to get us where we are. We are in a real bad state as far as funding is concerned. So, you know, if you want to keep your observatory and you want to keep, you know, just a small spark of light in this vast darkness of BS that we're all surrounded with, then the link's there. Simply, you've got to do a little bit more than just listen. You've got to also be a partaker. You know, you've got to take some proactive, you know, measures. And, you know, it does take a little bit of time. I know it takes a little bit of time to fill out that form. But without it, we don't get funding. And that means everything we've did to this moment in time has been for what? Guys, more importantly, let's pray for those people in Gaza right now, and let's pray for ourselves that we're not part of this at this moment, but that can quickly change. We all know our history, and we know that we can be involved in this very, very quickly. God be with all of you, and take care of your loved ones. I'll say what I usually do. As always, bye for now.